Life with COVID. Oh my goodness. All right, I most likely have COVID, but the results are not in yet. The reason I say most likely is because I was exposed to someone multiple times with COVID-19, and I came down with symptoms pretty quickly, pretty harsh, but I'm okay. I feel good, but not great. Depending on when you asked me, I would have said I feel like I'm gonna die, but I don't feel like that anymore, so that part is past. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell. If you're on Facebook, go to YouTube anyway, after this is over, of course. Subscribe, hit the bell, comment. And also, if you're on Facebook watching this, definitely, this is the live version that's happening right now. It'll be archived in a recorded version, obviously, after this live version has commenced. So, let's see here. I'm doing this in a horizontal view. I haven't done that in a while. So when you guys comment, hopefully I'll be able to see you. But I wanted to talk about the symptoms that I personally experienced and am still experiencing, as well as what I've been doing for treatment for myself to feel better pretty quickly, I might add, and how overall I went into it just with the upper hand as well, going into it with a strong immune system. And then along the way, just feel free to ask me questions or add your wisdom, because I'm learning too, and feel free to share it with us, with me, whatever you want. I haven't seen any comments come through yet, but I do see a lot of people coming on now, so I'm looking forward to seeing comments. Hopefully I can see them. I don't really understand how this works yet. Somebody drop me a comment, if anything, just to test this out so I can see how this thing works. I really do want to be able to communicate back and forth with everybody. And there we go. Okay, I just figured it out. Hi Jane, hi Lisa, hi Linda, Jennifer, Ileana, Jennifer, another Jennifer, Monica, Jan, and a bunch of other people that I don't know. So welcome everybody. All right, so first of all, going into this, I went into it with a really strong immune system. I mean, I eat a plant-based diet. If you guys know me at all, you know that I eat a plant-based diet and I work out like a fiend every day, but at the same time, I keep things in balance. I don't work out so hard every day. I never take a break or a recovery. I always listen to my body. So I was in really great balance and harmony and all that stuff. And I still got it anyway. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna wash over the whole population at some point, I think. But the first thing was going into it with a really strong immune system. And that could be said for any kind of sickness or any kind of illness. And this is the first time, by the way, I had ever gotten sick in 13 years. 13 years is quite a run, so I don't really have much to complain about. But before I changed my lifestyle, before 13 years ago, I would get violently ill several times a year, and then it would linger for such a long time, and it was always so bad. And then suddenly I never get sick anymore, from several times a year to 0 times for 13 years straight. And it takes a pandemic to where, with something that's highly contagious, to where I get it and I've got symptoms. That's something, man. That is something to write home about. But I went into it with a strong immune system. So that's the first thing. And then after I recognized I had it, I got some supplies, contactless delivery, by the way. There's so many options nowadays where you don't need to have contact with another human being, which is really sad, but there are moments when that's actually a lifesaver. So I'm happy it's there for like right now. So a bunch of stuff I've already got in my house because I eat this way anyway. But one of the things I started doing is, I don't have, it's in the kitchen. It's gonna hold up. I have oil of oregano. Let me just go grab it. I see it right now. So 1 second. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna grab a couple things. I'm back. Okay, should have this ready, but oil of oregano. This is nature's most powerful antibiotic. These come in liquid phytocaps made by a company called Gaia. And what I do with this, see, it just comes in these little capsules inside of it. I've actually broken them open before and put them in it's just pure, straight up oregano oil. nature's most powerful antibiotic. So I'll take 2 of those a day between meals. That's something I had in my house already because it's just a great thing to have in your house. It's nature's most powerful antibiotic. There's no bad side effects like with a pharmacological drug. And by the way, at no point in this video is it meant to replace advice or orders from your doctor or other healthcare workers. I'm just sharing with you what has been working for me, something you can take as general information, not specific to anybody. So be safe, do your research, do what works for you. And sometimes medical treatment is a lifesaver, and that's up to you to decide as to when that's going to be for you, if and when. And me too, if I need medical treatment, if the stuff I'm doing isn't working, I would get it. Immediately I would get it. And sometimes you don't have a lot of time. COVID-19 wipes some people out, takes them, off of planet Earth from living pretty quickly. So sometimes you got to move quick and make those fast judgment calls too, and it's life and death. Another thing I've been doing is I will just break off a knuckle of ginger root. This is straight up ginger root. So there's ginger powder, which is great to cook with. So is this. But when it comes to medicinal, you just want the real stuff like this. I'll break off a knuckle like this piece here. If I was going to do something, I would just rip it off. Maybe a little bit more than this. It's about the size of my thumb. And then I would maybe cut it in half if I have to. I'm pretty hardcore. I would put the whole thing in my mouth. I got 32 of the world's greatest juicers right here. You've got 32 juicers in your mouth too, and they're awesome. So I would just put it in my mouth, chew it up, suck out all the juice, swallow all the juice, keep chewing and chewing until all the juice is swallowed. And then I would spit it out, the pulp. I would spit out the pulp. So I do that a couple of times a day as well as the oil of oregano a couple of times a day. And so with the oil of oregano, nature's most powerful antibiotic, the ginger root is among nature's most powerful antivirals and anti-inflammatories. So that goes a long way too. It's also great for, helping and breaking a fever, especially the ginger root. So is garlic. So garlic is another thing I've been doing, which I also didn't have to go out for. Because I got so much of this in my home already. So with garlic, I will take 1 bulb or 2, but 1 is all you need. I will put it on a flat surface like a cutting board or something. I will take the edge of a regular chef knife, place it on top of the garlic after skinning the garlic, and I would just pound the flat edge of the knife once, and it would smash the clove of garlic. And I would let the clove of garlic sit there for about 10 minutes, and there's a chemical in the garlic. I can't remember what it's called right now. It starts with an A. You could Google it quickly, I'm sure, and it would come right up. But it takes about 10 minutes for this chemical to be completely released, so that when you put it in your mouth and digest it, then your body's just going to get so much more of the healing medicinal elements of the garlic. But I will not cook the garlic right now for this medicinal purpose. And then from there, it's sort of up to you what you do. Lately, I've been putting it into a glass of water, like 8 ounces or whatever. After about 10 minutes, swirl it around like this, and then I'll drink it. And that goes down pretty easy, much easier than the raw ginger root I was doing. And I will do that a couple times actually over the course of maybe the next 20 minutes, half hour, I don't know, something like that. I'll fill it back up with water again to make sure I get the rest of the garlic juice, and I'll drink it. And once in a while, I might take a piece of the garlic clove that's crushed, and I'll just eat it straight. I'll chew it and eat it. But with raw garlic, you've really got to be careful, because if you take too much raw garlic too quickly, you can lower your blood pressure to really unsafe levels. So you've really got to pay attention to what you're doing. Garlic is a very strong antiviral, sort of like the ginger is. But unlike with the ginger, with the garlic, you can, too much garlic is a bad thing because it can literally kill you just by lowering your blood pressure too much. So those are a few things I've been doing. Also very important, maybe the most, well, it is the most important thing, drinking lots of water, hydration. That's important every day, and that also goes into the concept of going into sickness of any kind with an already strong immune system instead of waiting till you get sick to do something to build up your immune system. It's so much better to go into anything with a strong immune system. But if you're in a predicament where you haven't been building your immune system on a daily basis and you find yourself sick with COVID or whatever the case may be, then you are at where you are at, and that's all water under the bridge, so you got to deal with things now and just start now building up your immune system. If you're not sick right now, start building up your immune system anyway. And I'm basically doing a lot of things that are on my website already, tomberkenmeyer.com. So feel free to bookmark that one. That's a wonderful resource, if I do say so myself, tomberkenmeyer.com. I've got so many blog entries there of a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now and the stuff that I do on a daily basis and stuff I'm focused on now that I'm sick. There's so many recipes there. There's so many tips and tricks and little nuggets here, little nuggets there. There's whole big strategies based on this or that. And it's all under the umbrellas of natural, organic, chemical-free health and wealth. Now, this would be under the health umbrella, but really there's a lot of mergers, overlap between the two. But this, for the purpose of this video, this is definitely more focused on the natural, chemical-free health side. Now, so far, I have not taken a single drug, nothing with a pharmacological effect, not even Tylenol. I was told by a Kenosha County healthcare worker that, yeah, if it hits 101, make sure you take Tylenol. I'm like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Well, I did hit 101. I hit 102. And maybe this was stupid on my behalf, but I still didn't do it. I mean, I felt terrible. The pressure in my head from having 102 temperature, that was unreal. But I still felt like, yeah, I'm going to survive this, so I'm not going to take the Tylenol, and I think this will be temporary. But if it doesn't go away, because I'm kind of a baby when it comes to pain, I don't have much of a threshold. In other words, if I were a woman and I had to bear children, I would die and right there on the table while giving birth. It just wouldn't work out. So I would have succumbed to taking Tylenol if I felt I needed to, but thankfully I didn't, because I came into this with a strong immune system and I was doing all these other things I was talking about earlier in this live feed. So that makes an enormous difference, you know what I mean? And in addition to that, so those are like the main concentrated therapeutic medicinal things that I've been doing. Just eating a really good plant-based diet like I would any other day anyway, so that part didn't matter. One thing that is different is my appetite has not been as great as it usually is. Two reasons. One, I'm sick with a virus, so my energy is going towards recovery. This, you know, there's some sicknesses where it's okay to say still do your workouts and you're going to be fine, and then there's other illnesses like a virus where you can't work out. If you do, you're taking energy away from getting better and just going to prolong it, and maybe something might flare up and it could kill you possibly. And also my body is kind of letting me know that, yeah, Tom, don't do anything hardcore right now. For the first 2 days, my body said don't do anything, period. Even if I would, I don't know, walk across the house, that would take energy, very little energy that we would take for granted, but I could feel it affecting my temperature, like it would start to rise just by getting up out of bed and walking across the house. That's how bad it was. So your body typically will tell you if like exerting yourself is the wrong thing to do right now, and when your body says that, you gotta listen, and God knows I listened. And right now I can do light workouts, so I do work out every day again, but it's nothing super hard. I'm not doing anaerobic stuff where I'm kicking my butt. I'm not running 5Ks right now. I'm not sprinting any distance whatsoever. I'm not doing any plyometrics kind of training. So what I'm doing right now is some stretches. I'm holding plank for a minute. For some people that would be really hard, but for me that's really not hard at all. But right now it's just about where I need to be. I've been doing yoga, love yoga, but none of the hard stuff. Vinyasa flow yoga I've been doing, but I haven't been holding tough poses for long periods of time, and just monitoring myself so that I don't overdo it, because my body is letting me know and I'm listening. And as my body says it's okay to do more and more, believe me, I'm going to do more and more. A great example of that would be like if I'm holding plank for a minute, and even if I'm holding plank for 30 seconds, for example, and I'm at, you know, my normal self, then I'm going to feel so pumped up after that. I'm going to go and I'm going to crave something super hard, like running or sprinting 3.1 miles, which is a 5K, or lifting weights for the next 45 minutes, really heavy weights, that heavy, so heavy I can't lift heavier, or high intensity interval training, whatever the case may be. But my body is not saying that when I'm doing these light yoga routines and holding plank for a minute or whatever. It's saying, okay, just don't go beyond this, otherwise there could be problems. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm really, really anxious to get beyond that and to where my body just says, okay, green lights, kick some ass, Tom. Go. That'll be great. So my diet, plant-based just like it is any other day, but just not as much as I typically eat, because the calories that your body has to burn to digest food is taking energy away from something like healing from a virus. So that all sort of goes hand in hand, between the physical exertion as well as the exertion that happens during the thermic effect of feeding when your body is digesting calories. So I've been focusing on a lot of softer foods and breaking foods down, vegetables, which is typical everyday vegetables, maybe not as much raw stuff, but I don't know, actually that part may not be true. I've read, that's probably where I got that idea. I read when you have a virus like this, you shouldn't eat so many raw vegetables, but steam them so that it's softer on the gut, and it's probably true, but for me that hasn't been an issue at all. I'm eating almost all raw vegetables, and maybe because my body is just so conditioned for it, because I eat that way anyway, I'm not really sure. But I'm eating, let's see, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, seeds, those kinds of things, just not as much as I normally would on a day. So that is that. I'm going to scroll and look at and see if there's been any comments. Let's see here, because I've got more to talk about, but I want to get caught up here. Hey, Alex, I was afraid you had when you first posted about your headache and fever. Yeah, that is right, Alex. That was a good call when I first posted about being sick for the first time in 13 years. And I still don't have the official results yet, but we're pretty sure that's the case here. I'm probably going to answer more about my mom on another day, but for now I will say she's stable, and she's my mom has got such a compromised immune system. We always thought, oh God, Mom, you can't get it, because if you get it, you're dead meat, right? But we figure she's had it about a week, or maybe just a little over a week by now, and she's not on a ventilator. So I'm taking that as a very good sign, and hopefully it doesn't get worse, but she's not doing good. She's in a lot of discomfiture, and she is having a hard time breathing. And talking to her on the phone, I talk to her every day. Obviously I can't visit her, but she's over there struggling, and that sucks so bad. And she's got not just COVID that she's dealing with, but she's got so many health problems, and she went into this just not taking care of herself for a really, really long time. And so in many different ways, she's at that phase of her life right now where she's just paying for a whole lifetime worth of just an irresponsible lifestyle where she didn't take care of herself. And it's so hard to see that. And that's where a lot of my motivation comes from, to take care of myself, as well as how I lay into it with so much intensity when I'm sharing with all of you and some of my posts and some of my entries on my website and some Facebook stuff and YouTube stuff. That's why I tend to get very heated about it, is because I see firsthand how it breaks down and causes people to suffer that you love and care about them. It's like you're going to be there to witness it, whether you want to or not, with certain people, because some people you can just excommunicate out of your life, but when it comes to a close family like a mom or a dad or a son or a daughter or a sibling or just a really close friend, you're sort of forced to deal with it, and it's something that's so preventable. And then you throw something like COVID-19 on top of it, it's like, oh my God. So, but my mom, I don't know for sure she's going to be okay. I'm hoping so. There's still so much unknown about COVID, and it could turn, any moment. So hopefully she's going to be okay. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. Let me continue scrolling now, and it's not letting me scroll back up anymore. So, and I know there were more comments. Oh, there were so many more comments, and it's not letting me see them now. Okay, so if anybody else has commented, you're going to want to retype it. I'm looking now. I'm keeping up with the scrolling now. Let's see, here's one. I keep hearing wonders about oil of oregano. Yeah, Kristen, I can't speak for myself, but I've also heard a lot of wonders about oil of oregano. So just The only thing I know about oil of oregano is just my own research and some of the lectures I've attended in person. The lecturer will talk about oil of oregano, so from it coming up in my radar over and over again, it's something that's like, maybe I should have that at my house. So I got it at my house. But I never get sick. Never. Just about. I just knew you contracted COVID the moment you said you were sick. Yeah, there was a pretty good chance of that, Christian. Let's see here, more comments. I will continue to pray for both of you and your mom. Thank you very much. I saw you 13 days ago, Tom. Tomorrow I'll be all clear. Yeah, that's right. Thank goodness we were distanced when we hung out, Kat. And there have been a couple people I've not very many that I have hung out with over the past, I don't know, months or so, but always socially distanced. And maybe that'll be the next thing I talk about, the origin of this, where I think it might have come from. Getting caught up in comments first. How's my mom? Just answered that one. Scrolling still. I hope you're feeling better. You look great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Cambretta. Feel better soon. Thank you, Carmi. I appreciate that. Saw research that CBD is helping also. Yep, I've heard that several times too, so that's really cool. You being sick looks healthier than half the people I know who aren't. Allison, that's awesome and sad at the same time. That's something, man. And I have to agree with you. I'm not saying that to pat my own back, but holy shit, there's a lot of sick looking people out there who don't have any diagnosed problems. Like, this is just how they normally are. Take care of yourself, sweetie. We love you. Thank you, Sharon. Getting caught up. Scrolling. Hi, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay, Wendy. Not great, but I'm okay. Let's see. Emily says, I hope all the herbs and foods I eat have kept me healthy and strong. I'm on immune suppressing drug, though. Hopefully it balances out. I hope you get well soon. I have faith that you will. Thank you, Emily. And all power to you to not get sick. I love you, Tom. I love you, Wendy. Thank you. Carissa, sending love. Thank you, Carissa. Sending the love back to you in multiplication tables. Don Turner. Okay, Amy said, oh, okay, that's a link you sent me. I'll have to check that out later. Let's see, Eleni says, I drank lots of, I can't pronounce that word, when I had this. I had bad diarrhea and chills. Those are two things I haven't had. Okay, that'll be the next thing I talk about then. So symptoms that I have had. At first it was just a headache, and then the head congestion and pressure that went with the headache. So just that was it. And then for a couple of days, nothing, just a little low on energy. And now my only symptom is a sore throat, which started last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon maybe, and progressively got worse. Last night it was pretty bad. And then this morning I woke up with it. It was kind of bad, but got a little better, and then got better as the day went on. So I think I'm at the end of the sore throat phase by now. So I don't know if it's going to come in different phases with different symptoms, but so far the first phase was a headache. And then the second phase was very short-lived also, and that was the sore throat. I still have it a little. Mostly just hurts to swallow. It sucks to give head right now. Can you imagine somebody that loves giving head and it hurts to swallow right now? Let's see here. Other symptoms. I think I had the slight chills in the beginning, but not really. It was so borderline, I couldn't even tell. But I never had any nausea, never had diarrhea. My appetite never went anywhere except it decreased, which is fine. I still craved food, which is great, just not as much of it. And my taste was certainly still there. That never went away, or it's never dampened or anything. And so who knows if there's going to be more symptoms, or if this is it and it's just sort of going to linger now. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. Let's see. Hi, Tom. Hi, Susie. Thanks for saying hello. Well wishes for your mom. Thank you, Emily, very much. Thank you, Rachel. Don't be sorry. It's okay. Colleen, get well soon. I will. Prayers for your mom and you. Thanks, Ellie. Kelly Crab, you so smart. Prayers for you and your mom. So many thinks it's not real. So sad. Positive thoughts. She will be okay. All right, so that's the next topic. Thank you for that, Kelly. About people who think that it's not real. So I don't think there's very many people out there who believe that the COVID-19 isn't real. I think a lot of people believe it's blowing way out of proportion. I think some people believe that it's being used, I don't know, as a distraction for the government to do other things that it wants to do, but now we're so distracted on COVID, it could get away with things maybe they couldn't before. I definitely believe that one for sure, without question. And then there's a lot of people out there that don't take it as seriously as they should, that's for sure. There's a lot of people that believe masks are completely ineffective, which they're wrong, depending on which study you look at. All of them show it. Anywhere I've read anywhere from 50% to 90%. Most of the studies seem to show between 80 and 85% effective at preventing the spread of the virus. And I think 85% effectiveness is motivating enough. I was wearing a mask whenever I would go out and there's other people around me. I would wear one. When did I start wearing one? Probably 3 or 4 months ago, I would say. So maybe a month after all the closures started, I realized I don't know. I don't know what it was at that point where I decided at that point now is the time to start wearing a mask when I go out. But that would only be when I was around people anyway. And regardless of that, I would always socially distance anyway. And when the closures started happening in the middle of March, before that, I didn't take this seriously at all. And I wasn't really looking into it, and I didn't feel I had any reason to take it seriously, and I was totally wrong at that point. But I took it seriously in the middle of March when things started closing down. That really caught my attention. It's like, well, I just don't want to have this default knee-jerk reaction that, oh, it's a conspiracy, they're just trying to take our freedom away. It's like, I guess it's possible, but before I can conclude that, like other people, of course, conspiracy theorists, of course they were going to knee-jerk to that one, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm an objectivity theorist. How about that? So I wanted to find out what the truth was, and it seems like there's a lot of confusion, and it's hard to know exactly what the truth is. But there's a few things I think we can be really sure of if we're on the side of being objective at all. The government lies to us every step of the way, which is why I understand conspiracy theories, including the ones that are completely baseless. I understand that why they exist, because we have a government that cannot be trusted. However, I also know that the virus is real, and it's killed over 140,000 people so far. We rank the worst in the world per capita, not just absolute values, but all the relative numbers, the per capita ones as well. We outpace all of the other countries almost on a combined level. I think all the European countries, we outpace them on a combined, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But certainly individually we do, and almost in a combined manner, we surpass them in number of cases as well as deaths, as well as number of deaths per 1,000 positive cases, as well as per positive diagnoses per 1,000 people. So in every metric available, just about, well, actually all of them. I'm not sure there's any metrics where we don't rank number one in the world. We're number one in terms of the worst country in the world in dealing with corona. That's our country. So I understand all the conspiracy theories, including the ones that I do not agree with. So, but in the midst of all the confusion, I've always felt this way since March. It is important to err on the side of caution because of the element of this that it transmits from one person to another. So it's like, I've always felt, you know, if I were to get it, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. But unfortunately, this is something that can be passed from person to person. I could be a carrier, have no symptoms, and pass it to somebody where it could kill them, and that would mortify me. But I may never even know about it. Who knows? So therefore, I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to socially distance myself, because we're not individual little islands. We are interconnected in every way possible. We cross state lines. We, you know, see other people. We're around other people. It's important to keep that in mind and just err on the side of caution. That's what I think. Okay, moving on to the next topic, maybe from reading another comment. Thanks, Sarsha. I love you too. Let's see here. That is the thing, that virus is so unpredictable, much not known. Yes, that's another reason, Ellie, in my opinion, to err on the side of caution. There's so much we don't know about it. But most of all, erring on the side of caution because it transmits to other people. So we really gotta have each other's back, and something that transmits from person to person and so efficiently. This is really the time in human history that we need to really stand up for each other. And one way to stand up for each other that has to be included in other ways that we stand up for each other is to protect ourselves with masks, gloves, PPE stuff, right? And just be mindful that it's a virus that possibly is very efficiently contagious. Let's see here. LME. I was diagnosed in March. It lasted, wow, you were one of the early ones and lasted 3 weeks. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. And I'm glad you're okay. Scrolling, it's tough. I'm just getting over it. I'm glad you're getting over it, Phoebe. We've been friends for a really, really long time. You are a live bug. A love bug, I think that was supposed to be. Well, thanks, Callie. Big hug to you. That was very nice. I had it in March, lasted 5 weeks, just nourished body well. Right on, Christina. Build your immune system. Wishing you well. I hope you and your mom will be better. Thank you. Yes, it comes later than that. Take lots of vitamin C. Oh yeah, that's another thing I did. I forgot about that. I did do a vitamin C flush. Basically a mega dose of vitamin C over the course of like a half a day yesterday. I actually started pretty high. Normally, if I was going to do a vitamin C flush, I would start with maybe 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams. That you heard me correctly, 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams of just pure vitamin C supplement. And so I started with 5,000, and then a couple of hours later I did 8,000. So that was so within a few hour period, that was, what's math? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13,000 milligrams of vitamin C. How about that? I don't know if it had any effect. I wish I could say it did, but I don't know. Now, if I could have like cloned myself and I took Tom B and did all that vitamin C and then Tom A nothing, then I would know. But since we can't clone ourselves, I don't know. And I was already feeling much better by then when I started it, so maybe the timing was off to try to get a better feel as if it was effective or not. I don't know. What do I think of silver, Tom? Well, I think silver is a very valuable commodity. It's a precious metal. It's also a consumable metal. It's used in a lot of electronics. So the price of silver, I haven't followed this, but I've heard in my circles that it's been going up faster than gold because gold is not a consumable, where silver is. So if you collect silver, it could be worth even much more money than it already is today. I'm just kidding. I know what you meant, like colloidal silver or something. I've heard great things about it from some people. They also say don't take too much because you could have problems. I've personally never looked into it, so I don't know. I can't say. Hey, Diana Marie Southern. I haven't seen you in a while. Take colloidal silver too. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Speak of the devil. Let's see here. Wow, so many more people. Hello, everyone. How long have you had it, Tom? I figure I've had it about a little over a week. That's my best guess right now. And talking to the Kenosha County healthcare person that I've been in contact with on the phone, she has me slated to, be safe to go out and join the world again on the 27th, which is 6 days from now. So this is actually moving by pretty quickly, especially since for a few days, apparently I didn't realize I had it. You couldn't eat for 13 days. See, Phoebe, that is, everyone has different symptoms, and the healthcare worker I've been talking to has been really driving that home for me. She's explained to me so many different symptoms people have had and the timing of different symptoms, and of course how some people have no symptoms at all. Lucky bastards, right? Oof. Well, I am very glad that you're okay, my friend. Well, let's see. Glad you aren't super sick. I'm glad I'm not super sick too. I was for about a day though, a day and a half. Edelberry. Thank you, Bambi. Love your name, Bambi. Sounds like a stripper that could support my music habits. I'm just kidding. Edelberry keeps popping up, so I may have to look into Edelberry and get some Edelberry. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see here. You have a strong and healthy body. I have your mom on my altar and am doing Reiki for her daily. Well, thank you. That is really nice of you, Pia. That's really sweet. Lisa asks, am I okay? Definitely. I'm not great, but I am okay. So you missed most of this video, obviously up to here. So when it's over, I really went into depth as to what I'm doing for treatment, how I've been doing, my status, and what it was, and what it is now. So feel free to go back and watch that. This will be archived and saved, and it will also be on my YouTube channel later too. Get well, babe. Sending you all the love and healing energy. Thank you, Gina. Big hugs. Squeeze the shit out of you. Okay, let's see. Psychology, it could make you think you have it. I believe it is real. Yeah. Yeah, the mind is a funny thing, isn't it? Tom, did you couldn't... Yeah, yes, Lisa. We're pretty sure that I did. It would be kind of surprising if I didn't. But we will find out when I get the test results back, for sure. So, oh yeah, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Sandra, thank you. So you wore a mask and still got it. Yes, that is right. So I have been doing the social distancing, following the CDC guidelines, wearing a mask and all that stuff. And who knows where I got it from? I have no idea. My mom, for example, just one wild thing I was thinking of is she likes to order out, right? And I'll bring her home cash every so often from the bank to make sure she's got money for tips and things like that. And she can order whenever she wants to. She can't really go out and do things and drive. She doesn't drive anymore. So she likes to order out a lot, which is unfortunate because the food is not healthy and my mom needs help. But anyway, that's another video for another day. So one of her delivery people could have had it, passed it to her, then passed it to me. I have no freaking idea. There could be a surface that I touched that I forgot to wipe or didn't think about wiping that I made contact with and then maybe rubbed my eye or something. Who knows? I mean, metal surfaces and plastic surfaces hold it for about 2 or 3 days, where other surfaces and fabrics maybe holds it for a few hours. Apparently it stays in stagnant air for a few hours, so I could have stepped into somebody's breathing space without a mask on. Who knows? I think this is eventually going to wash over the whole population. So the best we can really do is slow it down so that our hospitals don't get overwhelmed, and most of them haven't been, but there have been some instances so far since this started where some hospital ICU areas have been overwhelmed, and I've got 2 friends in 2 different areas of the country where that has happened, where they were overwhelmed and they just couldn't keep up with the body bags. So that is a real thing too, and so we do have to practice the social distancing guidelines set by the CDC so that we can at least slow it down. But it does seem to me like no matter what, it is going to wash over the whole population by some point. We just need to make sure that the hospitals can keep up with it. And yeah, and hopefully we do that. Next. Hello from Branson, Missouri. Hello from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kyla, hey sweetie, holding a good thought for you, being as healthy as you are. I firmly believe you'll heal, but be wary if you start feeling a shortness of breath. Yeah, believe me, I am. I mean, I don't think I'm out of the woods yet. It sure feels like I am, because the brunt of it was already quite a long time ago. And so it's like we don't fully understand how this thing rips through the body. And I mean, just yesterday I got a sore throat, and that's probably part of this. I don't know if there's something coming for me next, like maybe a round of nausea. Hopefully not. That's the worst feeling in the world. But I've got this wonderful ginger root here. That's a staple in my house. And ginger root, the juice of the ginger root, man, on contact, that just kills nausea. So if I even remotely begin to feel nauseous, I am gnawing on some ginger root. But hopefully, as this thing rips through my body, the brunt of it is over and the rest of it will be no big deal. I just don't know that for sure. Oh, let's see here. USA is crazy. Yes, Lisa, I agree. Some good ways and some very bad ways too. Hello from Stone County, Missouri. Is that what that says? Well, hello, Bambi. Oh, Bambi, the one with the lovely name that I love so much. You could be the stripper of my dreams who supports me in my music habits. What? Oh yeah. I love having you here, Bambi. Did I get tested? Yes, I did, Sian. Hello from LaPorte, Texas. Hi, Christy. I'm in Florida now. COVID-19, hell yeah, where we have an awful governor. Yes, Ellie, I agree. Your governor is a criminal. I don't know how else to say it. The Florida governor is a criminal. Knowing he knows what he knows and he's doing what he's doing, prison. I think class action suit. Sue the fuck out of them. So we're on the same page there. Be safe, Ellie, be safe. Let's see here. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much, Angel. Angel Delight. We've been friends for a long, long time. It's nice to see you here. Let's see here. Wow, there's so many comments and people saying hello. I love that. Hello, everyone. Hi, Tom. Hope you get well soon. Thank you, Christine. You're someone I haven't known for a long time, but I knew a long time ago and kind of know again now, which is pretty neat, thanks to Facebook. Get some homemade syrup. That'll be a tough one. I don't know anybody that makes homemade syrup. But I appreciate the advice just the same. You never know if something might come up. I will light a candle for you. Keep rocking your badass healthy self. Well, thank you. I like candles. Let's see here. You have a strong immune system due to your workouts and superfood shakes. You'll beat this. Absolutely. Could have been particles that were on your shoes or hair even. Yeah. Maybe this is what's going to get me in the end. It's going to be this hair. Maybe I was walking by somewhere in this net that I have around my head, this perpetual 24/7 net. Maybe the wind was blowing and it was like this as I was walking everywhere, and suddenly poof, 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 poof. And suddenly now it's this nest of coronavirus stuff. And then as I was walking, another gust of wind comes and I'm eating my hair, and suddenly, oh, and that's it. That is how I got it. I think, Allison, you just nailed it. Particles in the, well, I made up all that other stuff I added to it, but between you and me, we created a great story. That's how I got it. Son of a bitch. No, I'm not shaving this. Sorry. How is my fever? Oh, my fever was a few days ago, and that's gone, thankfully. And the fever only lasted a day and a half, I would say. And I was afraid of it coming, because the fever did come and go twice. So I had it within the course of like a day and a half, and it hasn't come back again. So I was, I was thinking it's going to be a third time and a fourth time. Is that the pattern now? So it's a pattern that happened only once. Thankfully. Let's see here. Your fever was 96.4. That sounds a little low. You're doing better than you have in a long time. Very glad to hear that, Ellie. Shannon, you missed it. Yes, you did miss it. And I'm still waiting on the test results, but we're pretty sure that I have it. Just don't know for sure yet. So who knows, maybe a few days from now I'll make another video. It's like, oh, false alarm. I have no idea why I got sick. Oh my God. Let's see here. Polk County. Michelle is down in Polk County, Florida, where it's horrible. Yeah, that's been in the news. I'm pretty sure I've heard about Polk County specifically. So stay safe, Michelle. Your governor is not doing anything to protect you. Yes, you do touch your hair a lot. Yeah, it happens. It just happens. one of the spas here, you have to step on a device that sterilizes your shoes before you enter. I bet that stays even after COVID. I bet a lot of things are going to stay even after COVID. He does not care about the people, talking about the governor of Florida, doesn't care about the people in the state, but I bet on next voting for governor, he will. Yeah, I have a feeling too, actually. I think the states that did really well will probably retain a lot of their elected leaders this next election cycle, this November, where states that were hotspots are going to lose a lot of their elected leaders and be replaced. It seems to be an easy prediction. I guess I'm being a coward right now and going for the easy stuff. It's true. Let's see here. Hi, Jody Page, one of my favorite people in the world. Ellie, yes, I agree. Needed to resign and sent to jail for murder, just like Cheeto. I agree. And for other reasons too, actually. So your test came back positive. Nope, Michelle. We're pretty sure that I have it, but I'm still waiting on the test results. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your mom. Please keep all of us informed of both you and your statuses. I will. I believe I am all caught up. Hi, Lisa. Says, hi, Berkey. Lisa calls me Berkey. And I call her Lisa because that's her name, Lisa. And I'm Berkey. Okay, so I've shared a lot of information with all of you, and I hope you all got something out of it as you're going through this video. Not just for if you get sick or if you know somebody who's sick, but just how to live your lives daily by just giving your body better raw materials that it needs to keep you strong and healthy. And also for when you just might get sick someday, if you go into it with a really strong immune system already in place there, it's probably going to be a lot easier to deal with. You'll probably get over it much more quickly. I know I have. I've never, in all the cases I've been looking at and hearing about and reading about, I've never heard of anybody recovering from the brunt of it as quickly as I did. So that's got to be because of the lifestyle. And it's not just eating, and it's not just working out every day, but it's also the fact, just go up and down my timeline, I joke, I don't stress, I don't do that kind of drama. I do have the drama in my life where I'm very intensely passionate about whatever it is that I'm passionate about. That sounds pretty anemic. I'm passionate about whatever it was I'm passionate about. I don't know, but I'm passionate about something. Oh yeah, my throat itches a little, so I gotta cough. But it's not just eating and exercising, it's stress-free, it's laughter, it's tasteless humor, really tasteless humor that is just wrong on every level, but you laugh about it anyway. That's important, and I lose friends over that on Facebook almost on a daily basis. But it keeps me healthy. And it also keeps real dickheads out of my life too, which I'm totally fine with that as well. So like, life is also a purging process, and being healthy and building up an immune system is also a purging process, and keeping just real dicks out of your life that are just hell-bent on finding a fence with everything. Like, you can't joke around anymore about whatever because it's offensive. No, usually the offensive stuff is the funniest stuff to joke around about, because it might, you know, it just gets you out of your own head versus staying inside of a box of whatever is appropriate. So I like to keep those people out of my life, and putting those kinds of jokes out there on Facebook once in a while is really great. Not just for, oh my god, this is funny, I got to share it with other fun-loving people, but also kind of purging and weeding the wrong people out. That's super important, man. So yeah, the eating, the putting the raw materials in your body, the exercise, balance of all that stuff, and not stressing, and laughing, and loving, giving and receiving, not just oral pleasures, but oral pleasure as in, you know, telling jokes orally, but the giving and receiving of sex and love, you name it, interpret that in whichever which way that you want to, and not stressing. And I don't want to say drama free, because there has to be a distinction here. Like, the kind of drama where you're talking about people behind their backs, that's bad. But the kind of drama where, oh, I'm so fired up about this thing that I'm passionate about, this person that I love, and I'm gonna fuck the shit out of that person, and they're gonna love it. Whatever it happens to be, you gotta have those things going for you, and that's the whole Rubik's cube, like, of a healthy life and balancing all those things together. That's what it is. And you go into a situation where you get sick with a really healthy immune system, you're going to get over it much more quickly. The symptoms may not be as bad. You may not even need any drugs. And that's one thing I'm still proud to say. I'm still drug free through all of this. I have not taken a single pharmacological drug, not even Tylenol. But this is important. If I have to, I will. It's not worth dying. Pride isn't worth dying over. So I just haven't needed any drugs. And maybe if I went into this without a strong immune system, maybe I would. Maybe Tylenol would have been something that would have saved my life quite literally when I had the 102 fever. I don't know. But as the case may be, so far, no drugs. And if I will ever need a drug ever again for anything, I have no idea. I guess we'll find out as time moves on. I just really don't know. All right, and one more thing. I jotted down these little notes over here. The only thing I haven't touched on so far on my little notepad is what I do for money. So a lot of people, when they get sick from something like this, we'll use this specific one just for example. So our government hasn't totally screwed everything up. There's a couple of things it did right. And this is one of them, where there's the unemployment insurance, the $600 on top of regular unemployment, whatever that is. So I haven't needed anything. I'm so glad that some of that stuff is there. I'm very sad that it's about to run out and they don't seem to be doing anything about it. So there could be some massive fallout from this. But up to this point, though, it's been there, and that's been great. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to stay there. And so we could have a massive homelessness population spike. We already know that there's a massive spike of people with no health insurance, and that sucks. And real unemployment is over 20%. That sucks. And unemployment benefits are running out. That sucks. And people, there's going to be a lot of new people that have no way to pay the bills or rent or mortgage. So I think we are headed to a very ugly place of super high homelessness, and it's already high, and that's going to, and unless they do something, and it doesn't seem like they're going to, and I hope I'm wrong. But so what am I specifically doing? I haven't had to apply for anything. I mean, I haven't taken anything. And if I needed to, I would apply. But and to be honest with you, if the government is going to give me something for free, I will take it. I'm not so high and mighty where it's like, no, I'm good. I'm able to take care of myself, and it's all fine. And no, I would take it and I would invest it. So at least with me, I can say if I would take it, I wouldn't buy back my own stocks like those losers. I would reinvest it back into my own thing, my own, say, rental property business, most likely. So it would be recirculated for the betterment of everybody. So that's what I would do with it. But if I was able, I actually looked into it. I do not qualify, as far as I can tell, for any kind of unemployment insurance, or the extra insurance, or let's see, I don't qualify for anything with the CARES Act. I don't qualify for a small business loan, nothing from the Small Business Administration. I don't qualify for anything as far as I know. But if I did, I would take it, but I don't. And so my income, even though I don't have a job, and I haven't had one for like 14 years now, since the year 2006, and so I haven't needed anything, and my income has not taken a hit. Going into this, because it's so unprecedented, way back in March, I'm like, oh, wow. Well, with so many people not being able to work because they're not essential workers, I wonder, my rental property business, am I going to have some tenants that can't pay? And what do I do if that happens? And so my property management team has been on it. They are so good. That's why I pay them 10% of the gross on everything. And so they've been hard at work learning all the rules and how all this works, and working with the tenants on an individual basis. And so far to this day, we're what, 5 months into it or something? 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting with my fingers. We're 4.5 months into it, and all of my tenants have paid. It's unbelievable. And then, but then I've got so many other things hedged against that too, like my home business with health and fitness. So I've also got that income coming in, which I started that. That was the whole reason I didn't get a job anymore to begin with, and also the springboard to get me into the rental properties. But that's paying me too. And then I've also got Lyft and Uber, which I started 3 years ago, so I could buy even more rental properties more quickly, I should say. So the only thing I'm missing right now is, well, this would be just recently, like within the past week, would be the Uber and Lyft income. But I never counted that as part of my income anyway, because that is income. That is like a job income where you have to show up to get it, and you stop showing up. It's not residual, it's not passive, it's not leverage, so I never count that income. And if I had a job, I would never count that as income. Unless I'm talking to the IRS. That's different. But semantically speaking, I would never count job income as real income. I would never count Lyft and Uber and door dashing. I also do that too. But never count that as income, because that is not residual. It's not passive. So my only incomes I count is my actual income is going to be from my Schedule C business, which is my online health and fitness business with the superfood shakes and the home workouts, because that's all residual money, and all of my rental property business incomes. So those are my real incomes, because that's all residual money. And none of those have been affected to this day, which is incredible. And so since I'm not doing the Lyft and Uber and DoorDash right now for obvious reasons, that obviously is not paying me anything. So I don't know, maybe I think I just, I'm thinking out loud here. I believe I'm going to go to my computer after this video now and see if I would qualify for something, because I'm missing income from those things. And if they want to give me something to make up for it, great, I'll take it. And every penny of it will go towards my rental property business. And I'd be okay with that. So that's what I'm doing for income, and what I've been doing for the past, when did I start the first one? That would have been the first residual money. The only one I count as real income is, this August will be 13 years. So nearly 13 years ago I started that one. And then the rental property businesses, I want to say 7 years ago I started those, and those I also count because they're residual. Lyft and Uber I do not count, because they're not anything. They're just, you do a ride or a delivery and you get paid, and that's it. Dumbest way to make money ever. Dumbest. And I am looking forward to re-continuing that as soon as I can, because it's actually a pretty fun gig, and I'm a pretty ambitious lad, and I'm a workaholic. I love that stuff. So that's another thing for all of you to think about too, as well. If you're taking in all the health info that I gave earlier when I was going through all the different treatments I've been giving myself and how effective they've been, another big treatment is to have the money to do it, to buy the better food, the more organic, the better quality food, and to not have to depend on a paycheck that you have to show up for to get, or maybe you've been able to take advantage of some of the things the government has been doing right, like with uninsurance and the extra $600 unemployment insurance and whatever else might be going on. Like, if that runs out, are you going to be okay? A lot of people, the answer is no, and that's why I think homelessness is going to spike big time over the next several months, and that is going to be really sad to see that. And who knows, maybe that will lead to a real political revolution that we'll get some sweeping changes that we haven't had since like post-World War II. Who knows, it could just be that bad. I'm not really sure. But you want to go into things not with just a strong natural immune system, but a strong financial setup as well, because that's the reality of things. We trade with cash. You want something, you better have the cash for it. Not necessarily cash. Money could be in the form of credit. I use nothing but credit. I never use cash on anything. I always use credit cards for every single purchase that I can, which these days is probably everything. I can't remember the last time I had to use cash because somebody didn't take credit cards. So that helps. But anyway, and for the purpose of this conversation, it's the same thing. If you want to eat and be able to take care of yourself, you have to have that. And if your only source of income is coming from a place where you have to show up and sell your time for, then you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to, say, unemployment running out. You're vulnerable to, if you have a job, something might happen to your job, a pandemic might hit, and maybe you're not deemed essential, or maybe before all of this stuff that was still a problem because there's mergers and acquisitions and suddenly your job is gone. There's a bad trade deal where your company is incentivized to hire people that live in another country somewhere because they don't have standards that they got to pay for. You never know, man. So you got to be prepared for things like that, and the only way to do it is to have a source of residual and passive money from an asset that you own. And if you don't, and this is about 98% of you, 98% of you out there, including 98% of you here on this live feed, you don't have it. You are completely vulnerable to a government that does not care about you, not even a little bit, not even that much. And this pandemic has really exposed everything that's wrong and corrupt with our entire political system and our governing body. They don't care about you, not even a little bit. Not at all. They don't like you. So you have to step up and learn how to develop your own residual money from an asset that you own. And when I started, I didn't know Dickie McGee's about what any of that crap meant. I just knew conceptually I needed to be free, and I was going to learn what that meant, how to get it, and just go from there. That's really my only, I guess, criteria for somebody. If I think you're going to make it, is if you just have an unending desire, a craving to learn how to do it, and then obviously take action on it on a daily basis. That's it. So it's health and wealth are very much overlapping concepts, umbrellas, two big umbrellas that overlap each other big time. And that's why my TomBerkenmeyer.com website is so focused on both of those, because in my opinion, you can't really have one without the other. You can focus on more than on one more than you do the other, because maybe that's where your passion is, but you really can't talk about one without talking about the other. And that's all I've got. Should I do a little dance for you to end this little number? I do the Charleston, but you're not going to be able to see my feet from there. And I can actually do it kind of good. Not to be confused with the Carlton. The Charleston. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Tom. You're welcome, Veronica. Thank you. I don't see too many more comments now, just mostly so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is a bump on a log, and just watching. It doesn't say that. It would be funny if it did, though. So-and-so is watching, so-and-so is watching, so-and-so is a bump on a log. Let's see, how do you think your mom caught? Let's see. Well, go back. There we go. All right. Any last comments before I sign this one off? That was pretty cool. I appreciate it. So many people on this one. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Trish. I appreciate you being there. Oh, by the way, I'll end on this note too. If you are interested in living a healthy, chemical-free life and better residual organic wealth than the shit that your boss pays you, I've got a group called Changemakers. It's for positive-minded people who are into natural, chemical-free health and better wealth that your boss will never pay you, ever. So if you want to be in that, you don't have to give me your blood. You don't have to write a check. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to scratch my back. But if you want to give me a little rubbing right here, I'm not going to say no. You don't have to, but if you want to, I'm not going to say no. You don't have to rub my feet. But again, if you want to, I'm not going to say no. You're welcome to be in my Changemakers group. Just ask for the link, and I'll give it to you. It's right here on Facebook. And if you still want to rub my back, just right there. Be really cool. Be really cool. All right. On that note, And by the way, comment on future videos that you would like to see me make. A topic matter, it could spiral from this video here, because I think I'm going to do this once in a while, just giving you guys an update on everything that's going on, stuff I'm learning. So in other words, I'll try to make all of these videos not just about me, but in a way where there could be some crossover as to how you might be able to use it in your life as well. Like, I certainly gave away a lot of information here that anybody could use. Actionable stuff anybody could use. So I'll give you one more moment here while I'm live. Otherwise, you'll have to get the unlive Tom until I go live again. Okay, I don't see any more comments coming through at all now, so that is the official goodbye. That's the official, Tom, you've done enough. I have nothing more to say to you, so get the fuck out of here. Loud and clear. Have a great night, everybody. Bye for now. Stay healthy.